My ego's another. I beg you, don't embarrass me. So apparently, having a boyfriend is embarrassing now. Like if you post one soft launch picture of him and people act like you've committed a war crime. Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? Boyfriends are out of style. Boyfriend icks. He gives me the ick. Soft launching my man. The ick, the ick, the ick. Hi muses! Welcome back to my channel where we talk about how women can have their cake and eat it too. I'm your host Nadeen and I'm here to rebuild the village that women once had so we can have the right conversations and create lives that feel as good as it looks. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. It's not embarrassing to have a boyfriend or to be in a relationship, but it is embarrassing to lose yourself in one. The real problem isn't love or relationships, it's the performative identity collapse that happens when your life becomes a highlight reel of him instead of a reflection of you. Let's talk about the death of boyfriend content, why the bar for men is in hell, and how to stay soft in love without losing the plot. As always, no gatekeeping, so let's step into it. Most of us grew up in what I call boyfriend land, the relationship equals validation era. Back then, having a boyfriend was a flex, not because the love was good or he treated you well, but because being someone's girlfriend was social currency. It meant you were desirable, cool, chosen, even if behind closed doors, he was cheating on you. And so many young women fell into the trap of wanting a boyfriend just to have a boyfriend. In the 2000s and early 2010s, pop culture was soaked in male validation energy. Everything from rom-coms to teen magazines taught girls that love, or specifically male approval, was the finish line. Look at Mean Girls, The OC, Laguna Beach, Gossip Girl. I personally ate it all up, but these weren't stories about women building friendships or lifting each other up. They were about outsmarting, outperforming, out-prettifying the other girls to win male attention. There was no girls girl culture yet. It was the survival of the prettiest, and you couldn't just be beautiful. You had to be chosen, and being chosen often meant finding ways to one-up other women. It bred competitiveness, jealousy, and a quiet internalized misogyny that said, if a man likes me more than her, I win. The 2000s were not girls girl years. Okay, they were steal her boyfriend years. The culture rewarded pick-me behavior and sold it as confidence. And when social media took off, that conditioning followed us online. Then came YouTube couples, relationship goals hashtags, matching hoodies, prank videos, couples Q&As. The problem was never the content itself, though. It was how women started losing their identity in it and made being a girlfriend her entire personality. The pipeline was predictable. Influencer girl gets a boyfriend, they start doing couples content, or she's always posting about him, then they break up with a public announcement, and the internet mourns the split like a divorce. The more she brought him into the spotlight, the more she dimmed herself and became a more watered down version of who she was as a creator before he came into the picture. So there's almost this fear from followers that when a man joins a woman's life, she's going to be changed for the worse. But on top of that, a lot of these couples videos are performative. They're not good representations of real relationships offline. Everything will seem fine online, then suddenly we get the breakup announcement. So the entire internet watched her highlight reel and now they're watching the fallout. And honestly, no one wants to watch another public breakup play out either. This applies to everyday women as well. I see so many women proud to be with their man. She's excited that he's in her life. She's enthusiastic and wants to share her life with him. And his reaction, it's underwhelming. Or you can tell that she's more invested in the relationship than he is. She makes him her world, and her friends see and feel that. She disappears from the friend circle. She wants to bring him everywhere, even on girls' nights. She prioritizes him over anything else. She's constantly posting about him. But when they break up, her friends are the ones there picking up the pieces. So of course it feels embarrassing. Every woman who has made her relationship her entire identity and watched it fall apart, 10 out of 10 has felt stupid for doing so. Not from love itself, though a lot of women do blame love as the problem, But it's actually from realizing how much of our worth we handed over and how much we overperformed just to be chosen. And the truth is, women know when they're performing. They post couples goals right after a fight, not to impress others, but to convince themselves that everything is okay. Then we see women banding together on the internet, identifying men cheating on their bachelor trips, or calling out men deleting dating apps on a flight while texting his girlfriend, or seeing girl after girl get cheated on after hard launching her soulmate. It's giving whiplash. So when the illusion cracks, when he cheats, ghosts, or does something unforgivable, it's not just heartbreak, it's public humiliation. Women aren't embarrassed by love or their boyfriends. They're embarrassed by the possibility of being humiliated again, publicly. No one wants to be left with an entire social media feed that aged like milk. So now women are realizing if you want peace, it's not about rejecting men. It's about rejecting the version of yourself that used to revolve around them. So now women are rebelling. After decades of being told that our value comes from being chosen, women are finally saying, I choose me. But that rebellion created a new kind of tension where being in love suddenly feels icky. The pendulum swung the other way completely, from pick me energy to cynical, I don't need a man girl boss detachment. Once women realized how much of our lives were spent performing for the male gaze, the outfits, the captions, the constant balancing act of wanting attention but not too much, there was this mass awakening. It was like everyone collectively snapped out of a trance and went, wait, why are we censoring men again? That's when the men are ick, boyfriends are out of style, I'd rather die alone than let a man touch my apartment type of content started to take off. It honestly is truly empowering. It's a beautiful clapback to generations of men calling single women spinsters. We arrived in a place where it's no longer shameful to be your own woman. Singleness became aspirational. It symbolized freedom, mystery, and no male influence to dull your shine. And honestly, for good reason. We went from relationship goals to if you see me with a man and no you didn't in under a decade. Even women happily in love started feeling weird saying things like my boyfriend or my husband, like it somehow made them less interesting, because there's this unspoken belief now that the happiest, most magnetic women are the unattached ones, and it makes sense. Statistically, marriage benefits men more than women. They live longer, make more money, they feel more fulfilled, while women report less time for themselves, higher stress, and fewer hobbies. The modern woman doesn't see marriage or relationships as a dream anymore. She sees it as a liability. And can you blame them? When the dating landscape is bleak, when the bar for men is on the floor, when men ignore what women are asking for, when weaponized incompetence and manosphere nonsense dominate their side of the internet, it's no wonder women are just checking out. Another interesting thing I've noticed, a lot of women in relationships now publicly disapprove of men except their man, because it's cooler to look unattached even when you're deeply in love. It signals personal power, that you're not emotionally owned, and that your world still revolves around you. The real root of this boyfriend embarrassment isn't feminism or irony. It's fatigue. Women are just tired. They're a little resentful. They're tired of seeing other women over-celebrate mediocrity. A great man is often just an average woman. Fight me. Because while we're taught to earn love through effort, men were taught that effort itself makes them extraordinary. TikTok is full of videos like, he texted me good morning, he took me on a date, he helped me carry groceries, husband material, and everyone in the comments is like, babes, that's basic human decency. Like, are you sure your man even likes you? We're no longer impressed because we finally realized that doing the bare minimum isn't romantic. It's just kindness shown to someone you love and respect. A lot of women grew up believing being the ride or die girlfriend made them valuable. That loyalty was love. That struggle was depth. But constantly posting, defending, narrating a relationship that's draining you, that's not devotion. That's delusion, and not the good kind. So we're living in this weird middle zone where women want to be loved, but not look like they care too much. But this isn't really about boyfriends, okay? It's about identity. What does it mean to be a woman in love when love itself has become a brand liability? Well, you can have a man, but he can't be the plot. A lot of women are soft launching their love lives, not because they're hiding their significant other, but because they've learned to protect what's real. Privacy has become a form of peace. It's not the shame of having a boyfriend or being worried about the evil eye. It's realizing we no longer need to center our online or offline identities around a man. Because the real embarrassment isn't being in love, it's disappearing in it. So many women lose their identities the moment they're chosen because deep down, we were taught that love is where our story ends, not where it begins. Women were raised to merge in relationships, to adjust our routines, to downplay our dreams, to make room for him, even when there's no room left for us. And then you start skipping girls' nights, your creative spark dims, you stop dressing up for yourself only when you're going on a date with him. You used to have dreams, routines, rituals, but now your life starts orbiting around his. And when it ends, or even when the relationship plateaus, you realize you have no idea who you are outside of the relationship. You stopped being the main character in your own life and called it love. The healthiest relationships are the ones where your identity expands, not dissolves. Love should make your life feel bigger. You should still have your friends, your hobbies, your passions, your purpose. The right relationship won't demand you to dim your light. It will add to it because the right partner doesn't complete you. He complements you. Love should amplify who you already are, not erase it. A lot of women don't actually want boyfriends. They want someone to make their life feel meaningful again. But the truth is, no one can give you that without taking something from you. The new flex isn't being single or taken, it's being centered. The happiest women are those whose sense of self comes first, not their relationship status. It's loving someone deeply while staying rooted in who you are. This is what I think we're all craving, to be loved without erasing ourselves, to have a life that's already rich and full, so when love comes in, it just adds flavor. Because love isn't the problem, self-abandonment is. So yes, you can post him, you can love him, you can be so excited to be with him, but just make sure when people look at your life, you are the main character and he's the supporting figure. That's all the cake I have for you today, and if you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to share your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.